Hello, everybody. I'm sorry for the delay, technical difficulty, and now people probably haven't joined. Bloody YouTube screwed me over big time there, but that's all right. This is the live Q&A, so I'm answering all your questions. So hopefully people sign in, even though it's not too late. I'm just going to put up an Insta story saying we are live. Yo, guys, we are live now. A little bit late, thanks to YouTube with its technical difficulties, but we're live. So just sign on in. It's on my PectusPT YouTube channel. Cool. Hello, Joseph. Awesome. All right. Hopefully we get a bunch of people joining. We got 6 people now. So yeah, I'm answering all your questions that I've been getting on the Insta story and stuff. And then as we go, you guys can ask me questions in the chat box as well. So we've got 10 people on now. So we'll start it. Again, apologies for the delay. It was YouTube messing me about, but we're on now. So sup, Jevin? What's going on? Joseph? Hey, everyone. Yeah, everyone say hello. Who's here? Say where you're from. I want to see all you guys in the chat box, all 12 of you. All right, I'm getting up the questions on my phone now to start with. So let's do it. All right. First question, does working out abs help to reduce rib flare? Yes, working out abs definitely does help to reduce rib flare. This is basically what I did predominantly to get my results with my rib flare. When I was younger, the rib flare and the pot belly associated with pectus used to annoy me more so than the actual indent itself. And yes, working out abs will help with that majorly. I've got a few videos on that. So I'd recommend checking them out. Some of my favorite exercises would be like the hanging leg raise, the cable crunch, ab rollout, and Russian twist. Also just achieving a low body fat can help with that, really tightening your core, and then also building up your chest, surprisingly, because it kind of like disguises from the rib flare as well. So it's often about like a disguising. Cool. All right. Someone said, how tall am I and am I an ectomorph? I'm 6'1", which is 185 centimeters. And yes, I would classify myself as an ectomorph. Those kind of body types, like you can change. You're not locked into stone as an ectomorph. It's more so just comes down to your metabolic rate. So ectomorphs typically have the fastest metabolic rate, so hence why they stay really skinny. My metabolic rate was really fast, and also my bone structure is quite thin. Ectomorphs very common with pectus, so that's very, very normal. And yes, I am an ectomorph. Cool. Someone said, dumbbell pullovers, are they okay to do laying on the bench instead of just supporting your shoulders on the bench? I would highly recommend doing it with your shoulders just being supported on the bench, not completely laying on the bench. The reason for that is it's going to get your core involved more and force you to hold your torso upright and keep your core and abs fixed on, which is something we wanted to be doing. So, and also you'll be able to get a better stretch. When you're laying on the bench, you're kind of limited with your range of motion and you're not going to be able to get your core switched on more. So lay across the bench with your shoulders only on the bench and push up and stretch it out and back up. So yeah, that's a dumbbell pullover. Honestly, it's an awesome exercise for pectus. Again, you would have seen that I've got heaps of videos on that. So if you're not doing that, I would highly recommend doing it. So everyone, loving the comments and the thing. Keep asking questions as well, because we're going to roll over. These are just some ones I've got from my Instagram that I'm starting with, and then I'm going to go into your questions. So if you've got any questions, ask them in the comments. All right. Someone said, what exercise do you prefer out of all of them? I really don't like this question. I don't like the question of what's the best, because there is no one size fits all approach. And also it depends. The answer, it depends, is so true, because it depends. Like, I don't have one exercise that I specifically prefer. Like, it depends. What context are you talking about? Like, is there one that I prefer for chest development, or one that I enjoy the feeling of, or one that I think gets me the best results? Like, you got to be a little more specific. But if we're talking about the one that I enjoy the feeling of the most, it's probably the cable fly, because I love that feeling of the cable fly, and that's a great exercise for pectus. But again, I like them all, and each exercise has its own benefits. So there's no point like pinpointing one specific one that's either the best or the one I prefer. Like, it doesn't really work like that. You need to do them all. Someone asked how to fix rib flare. Again, we talked about that. That's the ab work, which I've already talked about. Someone asked, what's more important, a calorie surplus or protein intake? They're both very, very important, but the number one factor when it comes to nutrition and changing your body composition is calories, it's energy balance. That is the most important thing. So if you're trying to gain weight, regardless of whether your proteins or you're trying to gain muscle, if your protein's on, you need to be in a calorie surplus. It's the best way to go. So energy balance and calories is number one. Next comes macronutrients and protein. That's the next important thing. But calories always come first, and then you want to make sure your protein intake's pretty high. Right now, I'm actually running 2.6 grams per kilogram of body weight of protein, which is quite a high spectrum, but I'm just experimenting with that. I've experimented with lower and higher ends. This is as high as I've ever been, and I'm just seeing if it's helping me get more gains. And I honestly think it is. Like right now, I'm like as heavy as I've ever been. I'm like 94 kilos dry weight. So yeah, but calories first and then macronutrients after that. Someone asked best exercise for inner chest. I just had an argument with a subscriber about this, but I firmly believe that you can target your fibers in your chest through mind-to-muscle connection and specific exercises. So my favorites would be the landmine press, the crush grip dumbbell press, the plate pinch. I've got a video on that. And yeah, that'd be my three favorites for targeting the inner chest. All right, guys. I think that's it from Instagram. Someone asked, how long does it take to fix Pectus Excavatum? Now, I really don't like this question either. How long does it take? Because that answer varies on the individual and their statistics, how much work they have to do, how skinny they are, how much prior exercise experience they have. There is no cookie cutter. It takes 12 weeks, and it definitely doesn't take 12 weeks. It's a work in progress, and it's a lifestyle overcoming your case of pectus. I still have progress to go. I still have more muscle to build and more fat to drop. I still have work to do. And it's not like you fix it by making your chest structure flat. I've specified this so many times. When I say fix, I refer to building your body up so much, building up muscle, a lean muscular physique so much, correcting your posture so much that you are now proud of your body, and pectus no longer is a mental defect. It no longer makes you self-conscious or upset. So that's what I refer to when I'm saying fix pectus. So we're not actually making the chest miraculously flat. That's impossible. But we're building our bodies up so much that it looks good and it no longer gets you down. All right, guys, that's it for the Instagram questions. Now I'm going to go on to your questions. So David Felix, you started the gym. Nice, bro. All right. Any future bans to dating or continue to work out? I don't know why you asked about dating, but yes, I'm going to always continue to work out. So I'm bulking right now, and then I'm going to be cutting at the start of the new year for my bodybuilding competition. Someone said, is it better to just get surgery? Definitely not. I definitely wouldn't recommend surgery unless you have a health concern like your heart or lungs, like I talked about in a previous video. If it's not a health concern, if it's just a cosmetic condition, then I would recommend exercise always, because one, it's going to teach you some skills about yourself. It's going to teach you discipline. And two, you're going to be healthier. And three, through exercise, you can achieve an amazing result. It's cheaper. It doesn't involve surgery, which to me is quite scary. And yeah, so exercise all the way. Also, surgery has years of rehab. Surgery can be painful. And so I'm very much an advocate of exercise when it's not a health concern. How often should you work out abs? You should work out abs. I would recommend at least 2 times per week. That's how much I do it. I mean, it depends on the individual and their goal is. Obviously, training abs all the time isn't going to give you abs. What's going to give you abs is being a low body fat. So if you specifically want a six-pack, then I just recommend eating in a calorie deficit and losing fat. But if you want to train your abs to try and tighten your rib flare, tighten your core, then I would recommend doing it as much as possible, because then that's going to be of most benefit to you. So yeah, train your abs as much as possible, but I do it 2 times per week to give you context of what I do. The more you do anything, basically the better the results, unless you're doing it too much that you're overtraining, but you can't overtrain your abs. So that's good. Any experience with recreational drugs? That is not a question I expected to see on my live Q&A. I think I'm going to skip that one. What is your favorite taste for whey protein? I love vanilla. Vanilla by EHP Labs, Vanilla Bliss, Oxywhey. That's probably my favorite tasting whey protein. So yeah, but also ATP Science also have a great no whey. It doesn't taste good, but it's a really good product. How are you doing? Thoughts on tight muscle shirts to get girls? Well, it depends on the kind of girl you want to attract, I guess, and what the girl's into. But I guess tight muscle shirts will make you look more jacked. And if a girl wants a jacked dude, then they might be into you. Or you may look like a jerk wearing a shirt that's extremely too tight and small for you, in which case they'll be like, what a tosser, and not interested. But it depends on the girl, I guess. I wear tight muscle shirts sometimes to give you some context. Can the pot belly disappear when you bulk with cardio and clean diet? Look, honestly, I would definitely recommend cutting to get rid of the pot belly. You really want to, like when you're bulking, you're in a surplus, and that's what contributes to weight gain. That's what contributes to almost being bloated, etc. So I would recommend cardio if you're mostly concerned about I would recommend a calorie deficit and cutting if you're mostly concerned about the pot belly. If you bulk really slowly, really clean, high protein intake, and yeah, lots of vegetables, not much food that makes you bloat, then the pot belly can look not too bad. But again, it's a short-term sacrifice. Like, acknowledge that whilst you bulk, maybe your pectus, your pot belly, your rib flare won't look as good, but then when you cut, it's going to look a lot better. So that's what I'm doing right now. Like right now, I'm really heavily into a bulk. I'm holding on to a bit of body fat, but it's something that I need to do to get me to where I want to be. Are you mesomorph or ectomorph? I'm an ectomorph, bro. We talked about that before. How often should I do heavy lifts, bench, dead, squat? Again, depends on the individual. Everyone's different. Everyone has different bodies and different ways they can recover. I'd recommend doing the bench, dead, and squat each at least once per week. They're such good movements. Compound movements are key. So yeah, I'd recommend doing them once per week to twice per week, depending on if you want to be a power lifter or if you want muscular hypertrophy, how your recovery is, etc. But definitely incorporate big compound movements with progressive overload in mind in your training routine. Any good beginner programs and diet plans? I don't do any custom, any pre-done, like generic programs. They're all customized. They're all just online coaching. So if you want coaching, then you should sign up, and then I can make for you a beginner program and diet plan. But otherwise, it's only customized. I don't do any generic programs at the moment because, to me, I think everyone requires different programming. Everyone's different. We all require different exercises. We all require a different nutrition intake. We all have different goals, different bodies, different cases of pectus. And so what works for Joe mightn't work for Ben. So hence why I don't offer any generic programs at the moment, but I am working on, for the new year, something that is cheaper and is generic, but at the same time should work for everyone based on you can pick and choose. So that's coming in the near future. So yeah, stay tuned for that if you can't afford my coaching. But again, I would recommend my coaching. I still have some spots available for my premium coaching. So if you want to sign up for that and you want to transform your body, then I'd highly recommend it. When is a great age to train? My son, who is currently 3 years of age, definitely not at 3, but I would recommend probably once he goes into his teenage years. So 14 could be a great age to start, even 12 with some body weight work, and just get him eating healthy and forming healthy habits now. Like, start being really meticulous about his diet, because diet's so important, not only for the way you look, but the way you feel and the way you grow up. So yeah, I definitely recommend being healthy now, and then once he's about 12, starting in the gym. Will you travel Europe again? Yes, I will travel Europe again. I plan on going to the States next year, LA, Mexico, maybe live in LA for 3 months, but I'll probably do Europe the year after that. My arms are 12-inch. What should I do? You should eat more food. You need to be in a calorie surplus, and you need to get your protein intake up, and you need to train arms. I'd recommend at least 2 times per week, triceps and biceps, triceps specifically because they are 2/3 of your arm. So yeah, and you need to train hard, bro. You need to get that good arm pump and build them up. What is the best workout frequency? Definitely 2 times per week, in my opinion. 3 times can be advantageous as well if you're running like a full body split. But I'm a fan of 2 times per week, and maybe more like an upper lower split, or back and legs, and then chest, shoulders, arms, which is what I'm running at the moment. I actually train my arms 3 times per week though, because they are a lagging body part for me. What are your thoughts on push-pull legs? Push-pull legs is honestly amazing. It's one of my favorite splits. I highly would recommend it. Your traps are huge. No, they're not. My traps are like one of my worst muscles, I think, but thank you. To get your traps, I don't know, I guess do shrugs and stuff, but deadlifts, I don't know, any kind of back movement, but I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I don't think my traps are very big, so I don't know, not for me to preach, but whatever. Bro, you look big and healthy, man. Nice, bro. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Eating around calories for a surplus gives you lots of energy, and you feel amazing. Hormones are firing and everything, so that's good. So pot belly can disappear. Yes, you can really minimize the pot belly once you tighten your core. You require a low body fat percentage and lots of muscle. Hey, you look a bit fat today, bro. What should I do to help you? I am bulking, so I am trying to get fat. So thanks, bro. Dude, did you play any sports other than swimming? Also, what are your recreational drug stories? Why is everyone asking about recreational drugs? What the fuck? Yeah, I used to play rugby. Rugby was like a huge part of my life growing up. And then also, guys, if you're in this video right now, please give it a thumbs up. We'd greatly appreciate that. It's only got 4 thumbs up, and there's 22 people watching. So give it a thumbs up. Comment below that you gave it a thumbs up, and I will love you forever. Yeah, so I used to play rugby, and I played heaps of sports: swimming, touch football, basketball. Yeah, rugby is my main sport. Have you heard of pectus rib flare making abs core weak? No, it doesn't make your abs or core weak, but it's just more imperative to make your abs and core strong to help minimize the rib flare. Bro, are you gay like Delta? No, I'm not gay, and I don't know what Delta means. Guys, Pectus said he would be doing a giveaway and meet and greet. I didn't say that. What are some ways to develop? I would love to do a meet and greet one day in the future, but I never said that. What are some ways to develop the V for the lower ab area? Again, low body fat's really going to help bring out that V. So that's what I'd recommend. What the hell, Jason? You are wigging me out. Oh God. Okay, I'm trying to find questions, but now I've just got weird chat in the chat box. Dude, Christopher and Jason, you need to get out of here. Natty Jedi, this man will be doing a giveaway. Stop avoiding. Is the vacuum bell worth a try? All right, I skipped all the bullshit there. Is the vacuum bell worth a try? Can we please have pectus or fitness related questions? No recreational drugs or gay or anything like that. I've got a video on the vacuum bell. I've never tried it, and I wouldn't recommend it. Again, I'm a huge advocate of exercise itself. So just exercise, guys. And nutrition. Nutrition's very, very important. It's like a huge part of it. So if you're exercising but you're not getting results, it's probably because your nutrition isn't dialed in. Hence why I recommend a coach. You can get some professional guidance. Cool. How much do you weigh now? I weigh 94 kilos dry in the morning. So that's something like 215 or something pounds. So pretty heavy. Really keen to cut, but I'm just trying to gain as much size as possible so that when I do my bodybuilding show, I'll look good. How do you feel about training with consistency over intensity? Yes, I would recommend frequency and consistency as better than intensity, because the muscle only really requires so much stimulus and breakdown, especially for a natural lifter. Your muscle protein synthesis is only really elevated for like 48 hours, 48 to 36. That's like 2 to 3 days where you're actually growing that muscle, and then you need to hit it again. So whereas if you're on gear, then it's like elevated for a lot longer than that. So that's why they do like one muscle at a time and absolutely hammer it, because they can recover and then they're going to grow for like 4 days after it, whereas as a natural it's not the same. So yes, I would recommend consistency over intensity. That was a big problem I did when I started working out, was I trained so much with intensity and more of a bro split, because I saw other guys on YouTube and Instagram promoting that style of training, and then I soon realized that they were on steroids, in which case it's not as effective for a natural lifter, and so hence why I changed my routine. Just reading the questions. How long does it take to see noticeable improvement of pectus? I'd say you can see an improvement within a month, really, if you commit to sorry, the question's in the chat box. Yeah, I'd recommend, like, I'd say you could see improvements within a month if you commit to a nutrition and workout routine. You got to commit to both, though. You can't just go all in on your workout and not pay attention to your nutrition. So, yeah, a month. Some of my clients, if you look at my client testimonials, they're like 8 weeks and their whole body looks drastically different, and their pectus is like way less prominent. So, yeah, a month and you'll see good progress. 8 weeks, 2 months, and you'll be pretty stoked. Thanks, Joseph. Appreciate the comments. Tips on defining the outer chest. Again, if you're talking about defining, toning, whatever, it just comes down to losing some body fat. So you just need to eat in a calorie deficit, have high protein intake, lose some body fat, and gain a lean muscular physique. I want to build my legs. They are really not in proportion. Do you recommend training legs 3 times a week? No, they're too big of a muscle group, bro. I do them twice per week, and do your heavy compounds, deadlift, squats, yeah, and progressive overload. Make sure you're getting stronger on them. What's my 1 rep lateral raise, bro? That's the most ridiculous question I've ever heard in my life. Don't ever do a 1 rep on a lateral raise, guys. That's very dumb. I started training 2 months ago following exercises. I love the dumbbell pullover. It is providing really effective. Thanks to inspire us from an Italian fan. Wow, thank you, bro. I really appreciate that. Favorite way to prepare sweet potatoes, bro? I love baking them in the oven and making them like sweet potato chips. Now that you have muscle, do people say you look good, or do they still notice the pectus? Yeah, people just say I look good. No one really notices the pectus now, which is amazing. Bro, what's your 1 rep face max pull? Yeah, again, don't do a 1 rep max on face pulls. How do you create an effective workout plan? Well, I am a qualified personal trainer. I have a Cert 3 and 4 in fitness, so I've studied and learnt how to effectively program what makes the muscles grow, what stimulates hypertrophy. So I know how to program effectively for optimal muscular growth. So it comes down to a few factors such as progressive overload, compound movements, linear progression style of training, RPE regulation to make sure you're not overtraining, to make sure you're hitting that threshold of like maximal recoverable volume, and that way you can progress optimally. So that's how I do it. I mean, it's very technical. There's a lot of things that go into it, and what works for someone else might work for someone. So hence why I customize my programs. But yeah. What's a healthy amount of, no, God, would you only do pectus in the chest days, or would you put it on other days? Yeah, the pectus movements such as landmine press and dumbbell pullover, etc., are just when I train chest. I don't want to make my pectus worse. Yeah, dude, if you're 11 to 12% body fat, I'd probably recommend cutting down to sub 10 and then bulking and trying to do it really lean and staying as lean as possible. But obviously when you bulk, you probably will make your pectus look slightly worse. So you just got to accept the fact that your body's not going to look as good now, but it's a short-term sacrifice for long-term gains. Yes, I am bulking Cantos. Yeah, people with pectus who had it worse than me, again, we all have different shapes and sizes, so they can improve it to the best of their capacity. But we're all individuals, and we all improve it to different extents and look different once we've transformed our bodies. But nonetheless, whenever you have a lean muscular physique, you'll look great. Awesome, Manuel. Good to hear, bro. Yeah, when you hit 18, you should look pretty damn good if you're starting at 14. Yes, Natty Jedi, I am competing, hence why I'm all fluffy and bulky right now, because I'm just trying to gain as much size as I physically can before starting my cut in January. Yes, I'd recommend EHP Labs, Isopept. That's a good protein if you're trying to cut, or even Oxyway from EHP. Or if you have like a problem with dairy, then No Way by ATP Science. Yeah, girls generally think I have a nice body, I'd say. Guys who are spamming in the thing, please stop. It's making this very hard to do. Any good bulking foods? Yes, calorie dense foods, peanut butter, different meats. Yeah, anything that's high in calories is really good for bulking, because then you're getting more bang for your buck. Oatmeal, lots of things like that. No, I don't think weightlifting can stunt growth. That's a bit of a myth with like kids, I personally believe. Jay Spencer, that has happened to me, and I think that happens to everyone out there with pectus, brother. I was going to talk about it in a video, but then I thought it was a bit inappropriate. How many protein shakes are too many? I'd say you wouldn't want to have any more than 3 a day. You just want to hit your protein intake. Christabel, how do I kick you from this chat? Remove. Get out of here. Bye. No, wait, I didn't kick him. Bye, mate. All right. And Cantos, you're going too. All right, guys, if anyone serious has any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up here if there's any more questions. Again, guys, if you really want to transform your body, I would recommend signing up for my coaching prep program. I have some positions available, so I'd love to coach you. And Michael, I don't know, man. There was 2 guys spamming about it. It's the most annoying thing. Best thing to eat pre-workout, I'd recommend some carbs. So I like to have my protein pancakes or just oatmeal. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up here. Awesome chat, and keep killing it. Everyone make gains. Join the Pectus Warriors group and go kill it.